Hey guys, welcome back to D-Res. This is Neon. I'm actually here with Geeky Sparkles today. And yeah, we're going to do some paranormal episodes of the podcast. We've done a couple before, but this is a pretty big story. Apparently, Ring camera users have spotted UFOs in California, and a lot of them. And it's making national headlines now.
It was trending on Twitter this morning. That's all I found about it.
So this is pretty interesting because I think for those of you who have listened to our previous paranormal videos, I used to live in California and I've seen UFOs in California, so I'm not really surprised, but it's weird that it's happening now and all at once. So let's talk about this. Stick around. All right, guys, welcome back to D-Res. This is Neon. Geeky Sparkles is here.
Hello.
She's not usually here. You're not usually here.
I'll probably be here from a lot of the paranormal ones, unless you have a guest.
She likes the paranormal stuff.
I grew up with paranormal stuff.
You grew up with it. This is that's true. That's true. Listen to some of the other podcasts we've done. So you're the one that actually sent this over to me.
Yes.
Today, you said that there are lots of UFOs, and I think we saw it from Raw's alerts on X. It said, breaking, numerous people reporting UFO sightings in the sky with reports of 6 flying saucers zigzagging in Palmdale and California. Anyway, they said currently numerous people reporting UFO sightings in the Palmdale and Lancaster areas of California. Witnesses on Ring's neighbor apps are describing various observations. Some initially thought they saw a shooting star, only for it to abruptly stop and zigzag.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. Not in California, but I've actually seen that before.
We'll talk about that because I didn't. I was sleeping through it.
You did? No one. I'm like, did anybody see that? No, you're all sleeping.
Yeah, one person reported, I was walking my dog in my backyard and saw a bright light in the sky. To my dismay, it was a hovercraft. Another comment read, I was intrigued by a neighbor's report of a UFO, so my mom and I went outside to see if we could spot anything, although we couldn't confidently identify them as flying saucers. We counted 6 objects after being out there for about 10 minutes. Officials and law enforcement are investigating.
Now, people said, could it be drones? Because they do use drones for a lot of shows and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I've seen some of the videos, and we might listen to some of the audio here. But yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing about the Ring app, right? Is you can join. Now, we don't do it. I don't want everybody knowing like all the stuff that goes on in our house, but you can join these neighborhood rings and everybody can kind of see what's going on and you can tell each other alerts. And I think the initial use for that was like if there was like a crime spree or something in your neighborhood, you could easily identify, oh, that's the candy van or something. And now it's like, oh no, we're all seeing UFOs. All right, so the New York Post even covered it, right? They've got Ring camera users claim to have spotted and filmed UFOs zigzagging across California skies. So they said that multiple individuals have shared their accounts describing a bright light, a hovercraft-like aircraft, and unusual flight patterns. The community cites 661 LASD and LACOFD calls noted on X. So yeah, they're talking about all these messages. Yeah. And there were some videos I saw. Now, mostly this is an audio podcast, but there were some videos. And the problem now with video technology and AI and everything is like it's really, really hard to tell, if something is real or faked or, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there were some videos, and they had one where there was a bunch of like static lights and they were moving, and the guy was like, Mom, get out here. And she's like, oh my God, what the hell is that?
But the thing is, the description of that didn't fit with the other people. So that's why I thought, is that maybe like some other video? Because what they were describing was just like 6 lights, and that was all one, like lights joined together.
Yeah, they said this is Palmdale is near Edwards Air Force Base.
Well, that's important to know.
Yes, which is the 2nd largest base in the U.S. Air Force. It's long been a center for advanced aerospace testing and numerous UFO sightings. So,
I think a lot of times they are ours.
Yes. So that because okay, I talked about my sighting in California before. This was in the 90s, and I saw a black triangle, which I guess they call them the big black deltas, and it went over a house. It didn't make any noise, but we lived pretty close to the Concord Naval Base, and I just in the years afterward, I just assumed it was one of ours. Mm-hmm. Right? So it could be that they are testing some kind of government craft or something. But you don't see a lot of this. The last time I remember seeing a lot of reports of UFOs, like mainstream media reports of UFOs, was the whole Canada weather balloon thing.
I think we just started hearing about it one place and everybody keeps seeing things, and they think there's something else and stuff. Now, what I saw was, 2000, what year was that? 2020?
I think it was 2020. Yeah.
2020. And we were driving to Florida, and we were in, I don't remember, South Carolina or something. And what happened was kind of what they're describing. There was this ball of light. It looked like it was like almost like a shooting star at first. And it was like shooting across the sky. And then it just kind of stopped. Mm-hmm. And then just started like, going downward, but moving like in like a zigzag. It wasn't like going straight down or just... It was not moving what you'd expect. It was moving, abnormally for an object that wasn't controlled. And it was weird. And it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, did you guys see that? And of course, no one else saw it. I was like, crap. I'm the only one that saw it. Yeah,
I've seen a couple like lights or whatever that have zigzagged before, but other than the one close up, close up UFO encounter I never had anything like out of the ordinary. And it's weird, like when I saw the one I saw, it didn't feel, but it didn't feel like alien. It just looked like a weird ass
plane or something. Well, if it's happening by the Air Force Base, I'm not saying it's not a UFO, but immediately I have that question. It's like, are they testing something? Because I think they do that often, and just because you don't know about it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So when I see that, I'm already like, okay, it's possibly maybe something they were testing.
Yeah.
Or someone said drones too. I don't know. I have to see it, and I haven't seen it.
So this one, the video footage that they're showing is actually from an older, I guess it's from Waikiki, Hawaii, on 8/14.
That's one I said I didn't seem like it was.
Yeah,
it was right.
Take a look at this one here.
Yeah.
That one.
Holy crap.
That looks like it could be a drone, though.
That looks like part of a drone show.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was going to say the one video they were all sharing and saying it was part of this, I didn't think that was it because I was like, it doesn't match up with the descriptions that people were saying. So I didn't think it was the same. That looks like drones to me.
This is the problem now. So the complaint I always had before about UFOs was that everybody was trying to film at night with a crappy flip phone, right? Mm-hmm. First, we had eyewitnesses that were, just describing what they had seen, or they had, really crappy cameras and they're trying to take pictures at night or whatever. And then we had the era of flip phones. Well, flip phones don't take very good video. So we have a lot of really crappy, blurry videos of lights or something, right? So now everybody's got an HD camera in their pocket, 4K video in their pocket, but now we've got AI, video editing tools, and drones. So it makes it really hard to tell.
What's interesting was this is in Hawaii just a couple nights previous. Like it only happened a couple nights ago. So it wasn't like it was an old video. It's just that it was a different location. So it's interesting, it's 2 different locations now.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Now, of course, we've got, conspiracy theories on X that this is going to be the next big thing, because people have conspiracy theories. They're like, oh, well, right before the next election or whatever, we're going to have, quote unquote aliens, but they're not actually going to be aliens. It's all going to be one big hoax.
What? It's a distract, is what you're saying?
A distraction. Okay. Right? So I don't know. But the fact that it's making headlines, and there are several headlines about it, all over the place. And, I don't know.
Now, see, there they have some pictures, and that's what I was hearing it sounded like with, like, the white lights. because I thought it was weird. It turns out it was just a couple days ago, that other video, but the other video was multicolored lights, several in a row.
Yeah.
And that to me looked more like it could be a drone show or something.
Yeah, so this is this is it. Reports of UFO sightings. Let's see this. Go out to X again here. 661 LASD.
Yeah, these are the same people that were saying they saw it. We've read before.
Do you have more reports? Says Zane Michael. Screenshots are only those 3. That's from the Ring Neighbors app. Multiple people in the comments section of those are reporting seeing it. So that, I mean, it does add credibility when you've got multiple.
I'm not saying they didn't see something. I 100% believe they saw something. I'm just questioning whether or not it's a UFO because we're not seeing enough images to go by, and they're also located by an Air Force base.
Yes.
That's why I'm kind of like, is it something that was being tested, by them?
That's what I'm wondering. So that is kind of my take on it. And everybody's like, why is it in California? Why is it always in Arizona? Why is it always in Nevada? Why is it? Because I'm like,
That's where they test stuff.
That's where they test stuff. So, I mean, it's possible that, if this phenomena is real, that it's aliens checking out, military bases or whatever. And there's like a whole theory about that. But it could also be possible these are ours.
Well, if it was streaking across the sky and it suddenly stopped and changed direction, then I would guess it's unmanned, whatever it is. Because if you had a pilot in that going fast and then turning direction, it's not going to go well.
No. So this is, let's see, some of the retweets here. We've got this person here says, last year I saw 5 in one night, zigzagging, stopping, and curling before being across the horizon in 10 seconds.
Okay, well, I've seen the horizon in seconds before myself.
Mm-hmm. LA scanner, multiple people reporting UFO sightings in Palmdale and Lancaster. So we're getting earthquakes and UFOs now, says Alejandro. No alien sign going up. UAP connections in the Antelope Valley are getting stronger. So there are people that believe that they think that there are certain locations, geographic locations where, anomalies, UAPs, whatever, ghosts, portals, whatever you want to call it, that there's a higher likelihood of seeing that kind of phenomenon, right? And they're saying Antelope Valley. So maybe that's one of the locations. This person says, seen shit like this. I can say shit. Seen shit like this in Joshua Tree. Yeah, I was on acid, but it did wear off. And I fully believe what we saw was real. Lots of military bases around, so I shrugged it off as hotshot pilots with some new secret toys. That's what I thought. And I was like 13, 14, I think, when I saw the one I saw. And I just kind of chalked up to like, oh, it's a weird looking plane. I didn't really think much of it. Sightings in Fontana as well, which is not that far from me. Checked our skies, nothing there.
Everybody start checking your skies tonight.
Yeah, well, okay, so funny story about Starlink.
Did we tell the story before?
Did we tell the story before?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, if you've never seen it before, it looks freaky AF. And like we were walking my son, I was walking my son and I was like walking along and he was like, Mom, what's that? And then we saw Starlink. Now it was like right after it launched, so it was like looping around very low. And it looks weird. And it just came out of nowhere into one cloud and disappeared into another. And it was freaky. And we were like, what the heck is that? And people were like, oh, it's Starlink. But it was scary if you don't know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was odd.
Because they were all in one straight line and didn't deviate from that straight line. These are talking like, it's more interesting when you're saying zigzagging and things like that.
Yeah, so
but it could be drones.
It could be drones. That's the problem.
I didn't see it, so I can't.
That's the problem. It's actually making things a lot more complicated now because now there's so many possible explanations besides swamp gas, right? So even if there were, I'm going to be honest, even if there were real aliens and they literally showed up on the White House lawn, you're going to have people say that's fake. That's AI, that's digital manipulation, that's not real, there's people in you know what I'm saying?
And if they have strings on them, they're going to be on, Paranormal Con and camera, and the experts are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's a blankety blank blank, and I can't believe I actually saw one in person. That is the most compelling piece of evidence I've ever seen in my life. It's so real.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I know, it's like wild, and I'm kind of like, is that if UFOs are real,
which I believe they are.
I believe they are. If they are they appearing more often now because they're like, oh, they're just gonna think it's a drone or AI or something, so it doesn't really matter. We can do whatever.
That could be. It could be like, just people see them more now because people are out more looking for them. Where it used to be a very like there was a lot of like stigmas attached to it. People that said they saw UFOs, like you're a nutter and stuff like that. Now that's not the case so much. I mean, I saw stuff all the time when I was a kid, and back then we didn't have the drones and we didn't have the, AI like we do now. And we used to see stuff all the time up where my parents lived, and it was, but sometimes you talked about it and sometimes you didn't. It depends who you're with, because some people thought you were insane.
Well, I didn't really tell people for the longest time that I saw one in California. Even then, I thought it was just a plane. We saw it.
In your case, it probably was a plane.
It probably was. I'm inclined to believe that the deltas, I believe, are ours. I think that there's been like patents found or something like that they think they're actually ours. We saw now I don't think this is related, but we've had a lot of military vehicles.
Yes.
Helicopters and jets going over our house. Not
lately. Have you noticed we used to get the black helicopters and stuff, and they've stopped, and we haven't seen them that much lately?
Yeah, we had and this was just a couple months ago. We actually had a low flying stealth
low
jet.
radar flying. Like we're talking like I don't know how far above the treetops. Not a lot.
No, it was kind of loud, but it was a stealth jet, and I forget exactly what. I looked up and I found one similar to it, but it was a black stealth jet, had like a red light on the bottom of it. I think a lot of people would probably mistake it for a UFO possibly, but it was clearly one of ours. It was a jet. Now, for those of you who have been listening for a while, we live in Western Pennsylvania. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base isn't too far from here, but yeah, there was
and everything that we've seen, if you follow the trajectory of where they're headed from or going to, it looks like they're headed that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But what's weird about it is, we had about 3 or 4 months of nonstop military.
It was ridiculous.
Every day there was a Black Hawk helicopter.
In the daytime and nighttime.
Day and night. My daughter was actually complaining about it because she could hear them because she's upstairs.
Shake the upstairs.
That's how low they were.
And it was freaking our dogs out and stuff. And you'd be like downtown, and you'd be seeing like 4 or 5 go by, and everybody's like, "What the heck is going on?" And it kept happening.
It was weird, and we had back at the beginning of the year. Now I don't know if we had the military getting ready for potential overseas conflict, right? But I know that I was talking to some guys that work for the state, and they said, "Have you seen all of the jets and the helicopters and stuff?" And we've seen them actually on carriers and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? They're like, we have no idea.
Well, we were driving by a couple months ago, headed on one of the main roads, and there was a bunch of military vehicles coming in, and they had like stuff covered up. And I was just like, okay, well, hey, everything else has been going on. Why the hell not that? But I haven't seen anything probably for a few weeks now.
Yeah, there was like I remember it was a caravan of like
and after that happened, I didn't see them. Come to think of it, since that caravan got by, we haven't seen them anymore.
No, but it was like an almost daily occurrence.
It was constant. It was like, what the heck is going on?
And like I said, we're not that far from Wright-Patterson, so I am thinking that's where they were headed, because it did seem like they were headed toward Ohio. Feels like something's up, and like I said, with everything going on in the world right now, it's possible that it's just maneuvers or exercises or just getting ready just in case. But we've lived here in this part of the state for quite a while, and I've never seen that much aerial activity. That's all I'm saying. And it's all military aerial activity. But that being said, it doesn't mean it's connected to UFOs or anything, but it just kind of jogged my memory when we were talking about all this, that, they said about being near military bases. So I think we're going to see some, I don't know, I think we might see some weird stuff.
Who knows? But, it's just hard to tell what's what at this point in time, because there's so many things that could be now compared to what it was then. And like if you have a vehicle moving really quickly and then stopping and then zigzagging down, it's hard without judging the size of it and see how big it is. You could drone, it could be, it's not a weather balloon obviously, but it could be a drone or something, and it's really hard to tell. And there's they're using them all over the place for like these different nighttime shows, and you can have 1 or 2 that go offline, just go off on their own because their GPS is screwed up or something. It's totally possible. That being said, I believe there's UFOs. It's just really hard to determine what's what now.
Yeah, we know the government's keeping an eye on it because, of course, the infamous Tic Tac videos that were released. Those are official government. I think those are ours.
Well, I don't think they're drones in the way that
No.
in the way that we think of show drones, because
No.
I mean, I think just not in the way we think of show drones. This is way too high.
I think it's my personal opinion. This is just an opinion. My personal opinion is those Tic Tac UFOs are actually our technology, reverse engineered, possibly from elsewhere, and that they were testing the capabilities of our government to see if, because we had the best military, best Air Force in the world.
America.
And it's like, well, if you're going to test this thing, okay, fine, put it up against our best and see if they can catch it. If they can't catch it, then that means that the Russians can't catch it, the Chinese
And if they can catch it, well, there's lots of money flushed down the toilet.
Yeah, there's like countless billions of black op dollars.
It is what we see, and what we know about is just the tip of the iceberg from what they have or what's been worked on. And, they don't want us to know about it, because then if we know about it, the media talks about it, everybody else is going to know we have it too. So, anyway, apparently there was like things seen in California. It's hard to tell from the pictures, like the size and how they were moving and things. It's hard to gauge what it is, especially with people are talking about our Ring cameras. But, but it's interesting that they saw something in Hawaii a couple days prior that people say are similar. Mm-hmm. So it is interesting. So if you're out watching the, possible aurora borealis or the meteor showers, which have been going on, now's your chance to take a look for those things too, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already. If you're looking for the audio version, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you find podcasts. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.